Hello, Sat Sri Akal, Namaste. Welcome to the Love, Laugh, Live chat show with Dav and Gurdial.
प्यार करो हंसो ते जुग जुग जियो वाला शो शुरू करन तो पहला ही कहना है love with passion,
laugh with pleasure
and live with promise.
So ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਦਿਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰੋ, ਦਿਲ ਭਰ ਕੇ ਹੱਸੋ ਤਾਂ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਨਾਲ ਜੀਓ.
I hope you like our new intro, and we thought we'll do this for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So my name is Davinda Ubi. I'm a life and spiritual coach, and sitting next to me, my lovely
co-host Gurdial Gacha, and I'm an empowerment and resilience coach. So Dav, what are we going to be talking about today?
So today we'll be talking about 40 jolly different ideas that would help us to learn how to live our best life. I know so you're saying 40, so we're going to try and do about 10 today, and Agli Showancha will do 10. We'll try and do 10 of each, and because we like to talk about this in a bit more depth, so we can have a deeper understanding how to live our best lives. And I know it's the beginning of the new year, and it's important now that we sort of like start implementing it now. I know a lot of people have New Year's resolutions, so why not just start using this information so we can live rest of the life, less of life, yes, but rest of this year with these new ideas.
Yeah, so ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ I want to make my life better, ਫਿਰ ਆਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ 3-4 ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੋਣੇ ਆ, they are definitely programs that you will benefit from listening to, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ. So Dav, what do you think? What do you think we can need to start challenging ourselves on?
So I think challenging ourselves is the best way of living our life. Challenge is very important. Like I said, I put a post up yesterday, didn't I? The word challenge, and in there, there's got letters in there that means change. So in order to challenges are there to help us change, because if we don't change, we'll never allow ourselves to grow and evolve and become a better version of ourselves. And every day we are meant to become better and better and better. Not by saying there's something wrong with us, it's just to have that nice human experience, to try something new and try something better every time. And like I say, so many people are so scared of making these changes because the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
We get so comfortable in what's familiar with us. But we lose all our opportunities that we're here to come to experience. And I think, so ask yourself sometimes, why do you stay stuck in a job you don't even like? Why do you, sometimes you can hate the job, but you find yourself stuck in there, or being in a relationship is not fulfilling, and there's a lot of conflicts, and it's toxic, it's not healthy, but you still find yourself stuck in there.
And it's the fear of the unknown, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And just think, probably it's the fear is like, I won't get anything better. Jo kuch hai, I'm still chaluga, and sometimes people are afraid of having financial stress as well, and so these kind of situations you tend to feel scared all the time. There's a lot of stress and depression, but you can never get ahead of it. So it's important to have that power to change your life.
So bearing in mind what we've just talked about, where you want to make a change and what's stopping us from making those changes. So what's stopping us are things like powerlessness, culture, insecurity, fear of judgment, lack of confidence. So just to go through each of those, both Dav and I will discuss what it feels like, because we've been through each of these situations, and in some respects we still go through them. There's no end date when you stop feeling any of these emotions or all of them. So for instance, powerlessness. So that could be where you're in a situation, thoda man karda bhi I want to change this situation, I want to go to college, I want to learn something new, but your family structure or your friends or your community say to you, no, that's not something you can do. And that's where you would experience powerlessness, because somebody within your immediate family, friends, community is deciding for you what you can and can't do. So that's where I think powerlessness can come from. And sometimes you can actually stop yourself.
Yeah, or another example like powerlessness, where you're in a relationship and you feel like you're probably very financially dependent on them.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, and the relationship's not healthy, there's a lot of conflict and toxic behavior, but you feel like, I got to survive. I need a roof over my head. I need to eat. I need to have clothes for my children and everything. So you feel powerless then, because I need financial support from this person, which I know is not a healthy relationship. That's another way saying I'm powerless. I'm stuck.
Yeah, but don't forget there are places and people that you can go to if you are suffering these kind of situations where you do want to make changes in your life. We're not saying to do anything just drastic that's going to affect you in a way that's not going to be healthy for you or your family or your children or anything like that. But there are ways that can help you to alleviate these kind of situations. And then there's culture, you know, the culture within you where you live, where people are kind of making decisions for you that you may not be happy, and that again would go back to feeling powerless. But again, it's about looking at what you want and how do I want to improve my life or the life of my children. So sometimes you do have to step up, and you may not want to, but that's something that can affect you.
Culture and community is like this is my, like I say, it's my tribe. And if I let down my tribe, I'll be abandoned or I'll be disowned. And the fear of being alone. So you feel like you're stuck there. I got to do what my tribe expects me to do, my community. So there's a lot of codependency there. And another one is insecurity. There's a lot of insecurity where you just feel like you don't have the confidence and you don't feel like you've got the ability or the skill to make that change, and you're so insecure in yourself because you probably, like you said, been brought up conditioned to think like you're not capable of this. You don't have that, awareness or talent, whatever. So.
And insecurity is something that everybody has to work on throughout their life. It's not something that happens automatically. But if you go on the internet, you talk to people, or like again in your community, there are ways to overcome insecurities, and sometimes it's just about making small steps of doing something that's slightly different or slightly more courageous or brave, and that's where insecurities get squashed. And then there's fear of judgment, where you're scared of what people will think of you, and that's something that's been drummed into our heads from a very very young age. But it's about as long as you're doing something that's not going to bring shame to you or your family and stuff like that, then there is no reason why you can't lead a more fulfilling life.
The fear of judgment is massive, and it's just the fear that if somebody doesn't like me, then what is my worth? What is my value in this life? Sometimes people just live that so dependent on somebody has to like me in order for me to feel happy.
And that's the big thing. We all want to be loved. ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰੇ, ਕੋਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਵੇ, ਚਲਾਵੇ. We need that as a human beings. We all need that. So we need that from somewhere. But ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰੋ. Celebrate who you are, what you do for yourself and for the people around you. And sometimes that can be enough, but we still need that outside validation from other people just to feel good.
And I think that's you learned as a little child, don't you? Sometimes a child done a painting, drawn a picture, and it's got automatically things, mom, dad, and it's looking for that mom and dad to praise. It's something, a habit is learnt from a young age,
and it's needed and wanted, and that's understandable. So lack of confidence, where similar to insecurity, where we just don't feel that we're that brilliant or we're that great, but that again comes with time, practice, and celebrating who you are and pushing yourself out of that comfort zone.
All these, what we just discussed, the powerlessness, culture, insecurity, fear, judgment, lack of confidence, all these we can transform them once we get out of our comfort zone and make that change. So regardless of how life is currently going for you, so I believe that we're all in control of our life, and even when things don't go as planned, we can make changes, necessary changes. ਜੇ ਵੀ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ, ਮੇਰੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਨੀ ਔਖੀ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, but even so ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਔਖਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੈ, ਇੱਥੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ, ਕਦੇ ਕਦੇ we can learn humbleness or kindness to ourselves and to others, but it's just about having that mindset, and ਜੇ ਅਸਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਪਿਆ ਆ, we can still get help.
to help us support through that difficult time. So all of these are ways to make our life easier and better. And you know, if you're living in the UK, which is where we're, you know, doing this program from, there are so many places jitthe tusi thanu support mil sakdi a. So have a think about that. It can really feel scary, but it's completely normal to want to make your life better, because that's just evolving, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So we're going to discuss together how to become more confident. And I think, like you were saying, you said to me earlier on, take baby steps, holly.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to become confident overnight. Sometimes it takes months or years, holly, chip away at it. And doing, I suppose, I've been doing that exactly the same, holly, getting out of my comfort zone and doing something that is very different from my normal lifestyle. And I think when I first started this show, I think both of us felt it. Jada pehla si shuru kita show, my heart used to race. I used to feel sweaty and panicking because this is something different, and it took us out of our comfort zone, but took the risk. But then we stuck to it, and now we can do it with confidence. You know, and
with humour and joy.
With humour and joy, and being silly and having a laugh, Hannah.
And relaxed about it.
Relaxed, and we can laugh, and we make mistakes. So many mistakes.
And we're okay about it.
And you probably will notice how many times we make mistakes, but we can laugh it through. But before making a mistake, think, oh no, do we need to start again? You know, all that sort of stuff. But it's okay to make mistakes, and just see it's okay and continue making mistakes, and no problem with that. But another thing that we did that was interesting, we did an event last year in November or December, wasn't it? Beginning of December. And
charity event.
It was a charity event. I think over 300 bande sige. And we realised how much we had changed from the event we'd done about a year ago, where I remember you standing next to me thinking, "Mere naal khadi," because I got to talk in front of the microphone, I got to talk to all these people, and probably 50, 60 people. But now, in front of 300 people, because we kept doing it, we didn't give up. Jo kari jao, baby steps, and don't give up. Confidence aa jandi hai. It does. And then we find ourselves like, hey, she's boli jandi in front of that event, and then our confidence had come. But like you said, we didn't stop over the months and everything. We just continued with it. I think becoming on the TV show and the other radio show, our confidence did build up.
So you know, harek da idea hunda bi jehda sadi best life ya bi assi kidda jeeni a. So assi nahi kende bi, you know, idda karo, but we're saying that whatever you do, as long as it's bringing you happiness, joy to you and to your family and your friends, and it's taking you slightly, jadon assi comfort zone de matlab oh gal karde hain, we mean just doing something a little bit different. So jithe tusi soch sakde bi main jeendi ha, you know, I'm alive, I'm not just existing, you know, going through day to day, everything's the same, and that can become really boring and things like that. So it's never too late to make a change for the better, you know, no matter what we're doing. So
I can't, like I said, what we're doing now, it's the right time to do it. We wouldn't have done this 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So age has nothing to do with it. I think life just presents opportunities when we knows we're ready for it. So
and I think it's because we're older now and wiser, if I dare say that word. You know, and jo kuch bhi assi gallan karde hain, we think that out there are people that will resonate, that will understand and will want the same as what we feel that we've got, which is the freedom to talk about things that which we think is going to help people to come out of their comfort zone, enjoy their life more, which is what Love, Laugh and Live is all about.
It is, So are you going to talk about here's how to live your best life?
So we've just mentioned the basics. ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਲਾਈਫ ਜੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ through Love, Laugh, Live TV show. So do things that make you uncomfortable for the best way to live your life. So ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਔਖੀਆਂ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ, ਥੋੜੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ, ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚਲੋ ਮੈਂ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਿਜ਼ੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮੇਰਾ ਆਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ, ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਆ, ਵੀ ਰਹਿਣੇ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੈਂਸਲ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣਾ, ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਆ, ਯੂ ਨੋ ਆਈ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਟਾਕ ਟੂ ਯੂ, ਕਾਫੀ ਲੈ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਪਿੰਗ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੱਲੀਏ, ਪਰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨੇ ਬਿਜ਼ੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ अपनी खुशी दी नहीं सोचते असी बाकियां दी खुशी दा सोचते हैं so just doing a little thing you know which is taking you out of your comfort zone है ना अपने घर दो बाहर you know effort हुंदा है भी तुसी बस च किते जाना है जां गड्डी च जाना है you know all of it takes effort करके you know बाहर मींह पैंदा है you just think चल मैं रहन नहीं छड्ड परा but to do it means that you're committing to something and that's actually going to make you feel happier when you come away from seeing that friend or going shopping.
Yeah. For me, I think if you're doing anything uncomfortable, that means you are actually experiencing some growth. There's going to be some sort of, you're going to evolve in some way. If you do everything just easy and sokka howe, you don't actually experience any inner, growth, and also there's something that you don't really appreciate it as more if it's just easy all the time. You value yourself more when you're doing something uncomfortable because you realize there's something an inner strength that I've just connected with. There you feel more something to praise yourself and celebrate yourself. So anything uncomfortable actually is the best option to choose. So I'd say what you fear, you exactly do that. You know, and that's you just obviously not allowing yourself to grow.
And there's one thing I really like saying, life is for the living. So live, you know, jio, khosh hoke, haske, you know, do everything that makes you feel alive, you know, because if you're existing, which is doing the same thing every day, you just become bored, you become depressed, bimariyan lag jandiyan, psychologically you start thinking more and more, you know, mental health issues. So everything comes from doing things. That is where you're actually living outside of your comfort zone. I know I've read that so many times. So the next one's, you know, like I know you've mentioned the event, but to do what we did, and we're saying anybody can do that, but you've got to want to do it. So we wanted to do it, and that's why it all kind of came about. You know, we had to plan for it, and it didn't just happen. So ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, you know, think about what you want to do and how you want to do it.
Yeah, and what it does, like, it's made us feel like more enthusiastic as in we want to do. So like, we've done the TV, we've done the event, I'm thinking, what can we do? Something even more risk. It takes a lot of risk. And we're finding ourselves doing things now, thinking, but it's the opportunity. It's funny. It's just sometimes you don't even expect it, you know, because once you've opened this door, you know, that I'm ready to, you know, experiment with all these different things. The universe, Rab, you know, whatever, how you want to call it, it brings more opportunities to you. And we're finding ourselves this year already doing things that we never thought we would.
So opportunities are just presenting themselves. We're open to experiencing new things, and also because what we do is about giving back. Not just to ourselves, but to the community, because this is our seva. We want to share our experiences to make other people live more happier, harmonious, joyful lives. So it's almost like God saying, well, there you go, you know, I'm going to allow you to do this and this and this. And of course, we're getting something out of it because we're enjoying the experience of creating something like this. So then that's where it is. So one of the best things you can do is learn how to live your best life, is to welcome the unknown.
So I was going to talk about how to be grateful for what you already have.
I mean, you know, being grateful for what you've already got. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਸਾਡੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੀਏ ਕਰਕੇ we can still have more. ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, you know, ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇਂਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਲੈਣੇ ਥੱਕ ਪਾਏ ਜੁਗਾ ਜੁਗਾਂਤਰ ਖਾਏ ਖਾਏ. We keep being given more and more, but we don't appreciate what God gives us. We just keep wanting more and more. But sometimes it is important to stand still and to actually appreciate what we are being given all the time.
I think it takes you out of the lack mentality. When you're grateful for what you already have. Remember, we always go back to this. Whatever you give your attention and focus to, we end up attracting. So when we're not being grateful enough, that usually means that we're coming from a mindset that I haven't got enough, I'm missing something, there's an absence in my life or something. So then we end up having more of that lack in our lives. So that's why I feel like being grateful, we're allowing ourselves to connect with a higher consciousness, saying that whatever I'm feeling grateful for, and Rab says, I'll give you more of that to be grateful for.
Yeah, and I totally believe and totally understand where you're coming from, and I'm quite kind of focused on that now. And whereas before I was sort of a little bit, but now it's a lot more.
Yeah, and it just takes practice and persistence. And so, yeah, so we have discussed about being confident, but for me, confident is another way of self-love.
Yeah.
You know, so how would you explain that? I suppose it's like the more you loving yourself, that means you actually allowing yourself, because most of the times we don't have confidence when we're judging ourselves, where we feel like we focus on the imperfections. But just the self-love, because when you love your child, the bachcha, thoda, you don't look at the imperfections. That's unconditional love. You just love them the way they are. And it's interesting because I remember when I gave birth to my daughter, because I was quite small, when I gave birth to her, her head was a bit lopsided because she was. But it's so funny that...
Sorry.
But it's funny, that's a maternal thing, isn't it? Mother thing, that I didn't even notice it.
Everybody else did.
And I didn't notice it. It's only the pictures later on you see them thinking, what's wrong with their head? But it's so funny that I was just trying to say that when you love your child, unconditional love, you don't notice the imperfections. And that's same when you feel about yourself.
That's how it should be.
If you love your imperfections, then for the confidence out in there, you actually feel like so good about yourself, so confident by yourself, and then you actually allow other people to value your confidence. You know, so you feel if you love your imperfections, then other people love your imperfections.
You know. And that's the thing, you know. ਅਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਨਹੀਂ confidence ਜਾਂ confidence ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, it's okay. You know, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਚ ਖੂਬੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ notice ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, you can still have that as well. It's not like it's just theirs. You can have that, but it's just about thinking, well, if I want to be more confident, I've got to accept who I am right now, and then I've got to move forward to becoming the person that I want to be. And it is all about self-love, but practice the knowledge, you can be all of those things. You know, if you're forcing yourself to do things that you hate, then you're not going to be confident in that, are you?
That's right, yes, So unfortunately, lack of confidence, like you said, it prevents you from believing in yourself. You lose your, lack of self-belief. It leads to being too shy as well, which is not good for you. You become an introvert, and then it forces you to do things you hate because you think you haven't got the confidence to say no, and cause you to ruin a meeting or a job possibility, and so on, and it just leads to unhappiness. So that's the problem when you don't allow yourself to cultivate that confidence in yourself. It brings all these problems in your life. And then, like you said, to learn to live your best life, you really got to start investing in yourself more, and baki sara kuch, everything outside will just play out beautifully. But again, je confident banna, it's more about accepting where you are now and moving forward slowly. Maybe look at YouTube videos, look on the internet, and anything that you want to be more confident in, then kind of look at what you need to do in that specific area. You know, if it's public speaking, then look at how you can do that. Practice in front of your family, in front of your friends, and then slowly, the crowds can become bigger. I mean, myself and Dad, we do public speaking, although we wouldn't actually say it out loud, not really, but we are doing it, and we just laugh about it because we don't think it's that big a deal, but for other people it probably is. It is, because they will go to like proper training and courses and seminars to learn how to do public speaking, but we just speak as we are, and we try to make
so we don't have that pressure then, do we?
No,
of being perfect.
No, we're just being very authentic, and sometimes we laugh at ourselves because thinking, what did we just say? We've done that so many times, but have fun with it, and that's where confidence comes, when you actually, like I said, be okay with the imperfections. We don't have to be perfect all the time, and that's nice. It takes you know, all the pressure of being perfect all the time.
Yeah.
You know, some people like your quirky bits, you know, your funny bits. I know, especially you're in and out. You don't have to worry about how you come across, because you actually start to feel confidence in your sense of humor.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I care anymore, which is another a level of freedom, you know.
It is.
Because if it's like people who like you are going to like you no matter what. People who don't like you, that's fine as well. You know, not everybody's going to be your cup of tea, and you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And that's where we really need to understand that. I think because sanu kai bari hunda da sareyan nu sanu like karna chahida. No, that's not the way it works.
No.
So it's better that you like yourself, and the people who like you ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਆਈ ਜਾਣਾ no matter what. So you know, why should you dim your light for anybody?
But it's nice to have people who don't like you, because it compels us to even try harder, and you know, and you know, it helps us to heal ourselves in some aspect, grow, and you know, let go of feeling I don't know, probably feel fear of judgment, and it's good because everything's perfect for us in that sense, that people like you is good and people don't like you always are fair there was, because there's something in there that we need to work on, you know, letting go of judgment, and then what is it that I believe that about myself, that I need their validation. If I don't need their validation and I let go of that, then you've grown.
Yeah, definitely. So ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ you know confidence ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਆਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ, ਆਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ, ਪਰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਜਾਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ no you can't do that, we don't do this. So I've got this little Steve Harvey expression. So when he was growing up, ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ you know like he's this American host show ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ, and ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਮੰਮੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਅਮੀਰ ਬਣਨਾ, ਮੈਂ rich ਬਣਨਾ ਆ, so she said, ain't nobody in this family ever been rich. You sit on down and you get a job. So this is, you know, because ਉਸ family ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ nobody was ever going to be rich. So ਉਹਦੀ ਮੰਮੀ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ I can be rich. So he did whatever he needed to do to be rich. So I'm glad you find that funny.
How would a Punjabi mother say that?
So ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾ ਆਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ, ਆਹੋ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੌਬ ਲੱਭ ਲਾ, ਆਹੋ ਐਵੇਂ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਲਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. So this is the sort of thing that people say that will, not because they don't like you or they don't love you, but because they're scared of you outgrowing whatever it is within your family. And they're scared of the risks that you might take and things like that.
And the sad thing, but they look up to their parents, you know, and they believe everything they say, but the parents obviously they have a fear that mere bachche ko besti na ho jaye, and the fear that they're going to fail. If they fail, then I have to deal with the, you know, with the misery consequences. So actually the parents that stop their children from actually growing. And movie, I just remember that movie Gully Boy. Remember Gully Boy?
No.
Oh my God, that's such a good movie about this guy. He's in the, you know, in the shacks they live in India, you know, and he had a gift of being a good rapper. But his parents, especially his dad more, he just tried everything to prevent him from going down that path, because that's not sort of the stuff that we do. But he had such a good gift. But eventually he did pursue his passion, but he had to deal with a lot of hostility from his dad. Quite very violent, his dad was. But he got there, he succeeded. At the end, his dad came and celebrated with him when he watched his son, which became famous. It's a really good movie. You need to watch.
I'll have to watch that. So where it is, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਖੁਆਇਸ਼ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਖੁਆਇਸ਼ ਹੈਗਾ, I've thought that there's three kinds of people. ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਜਿਹਨੇ somebody's going to lift you up and say, yeah, well done, go for it, try. ਦੂਜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ somebody's going to keep you where you are to keep you safe and to keep themselves safe. And then the third person could be somebody who doesn't want you to do well at all. So they want to put you down. So you know, you've got to be careful of tusi sochna hai bhi kide kol main who am I going to tell about what I want to do. So luckily, like, we all just talk to each other, and luckily our partners are happy with what we're doing. But if you're experiencing this, it's about choosing who you tell what it is that you want to do, and that's where your confidence will come as well. Because if someone tells you, just sit down. But if you've got that burning desire, then really, really, it's important that you try and pursue it. So the next one.
Okay, create a bucket list for the best way to live, and I think Apne culture doesn't do this as much as Gore do.
Yeah,
I've noticed that because I've seen a lot of Gore that they actually write it down. So bucket list, how to explain it? It's like a
Balti.
It's all the things to see you want. Let's say most people do this when they're later on. I think people in the retirement thinking, look, I'm coming to my retirement. These things मैं अपनी life च कीते ने, I want to do these, and so it could be something like, bucket. I know you've got one that you want, like to go skiing one day, and some people just want to say I want to travel the world. Some people say I know somebody in our community on his own. He's gone from UK by traveling on his own all the way up to Africa on his own.
Oh wow!
And it's quite in his probably late 70s, I think. So he decided to do that on his own. I mean, this is like literally cooking for himself, feeding himself, camping on his own.
Oh wow!
This is it's not by air, and so there's a bucket list things that you want to do, like like say things that you never got around to doing. Like say you never even got around to go abroad. Say I'm going to do this. I'm going to definitely. I thought the one that came earlier on today, I can't mention that today, but so somebody who wants to go abroad, like, and they haven't, like ladies that are thinking like let's go let's go Spain or something, but they've always just travelled in UK. So something,
So any major goals, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕੋਈ ਖੁਆਇਸ਼ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਹਨਾ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ, that's something that could be used as a bucket list. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਦਿਲ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਨ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੈ. So it's just about doing something like that. So this is where you just start off small, and we did talk about this earlier, didn't we? So you might go and visit a friend, go to the beach, on your own, or with a friend, go on a coach trip on your own, as a because doing something on your own is really scary, I think.
I think so,
because we're so used to doing things with family and friends and stuff like that. So ਇਹ ਛੋਟੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ confidence ਮੱਲੋ-ਮੱਲੀ ਵੱਧਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾਲੇ this is a way of living a better and more joyful life.
And we do have a list. Apni list as likhi hui, and we wrote some lists and stuff on our list today, as you said before we came here. And there's actually a movie as well. It's an English movie called The Bucket List. With something Nichols and somebody else. It's supposed to be a good movie. And that story is about that person's. He's got terminal illness, I think, but he's still like, I'm not going to end my life here. So actually, people start doing these bucket lists when they know they're coming to the end of their life, or they've got some sort of illness, thinking, no, I'm not going to waste the rest of my life, I'm going to make the most of it. It's funny, people get driven more then, don't they?
But it's better to do it while you're fit and healthy, I think.
But so bucket list is a good way of actually living your best way of life. I think it applies to more people who are coming more into retirement.
And as long as you've got a fair bit of money as well. So that's good. That goes nicely on to start investing.
Yes, so start investing. So one day to see retirement and so I don't know where, I think it's one of our events, wasn't it? We did a couple of years ago, that it's always advisable that because one there's if our partners are not around or something, it's always sensible to have a separate account where that money is available. So start putting in a little bit of money that is there, and just be sensible about investing things just for like a rainy day or something. And sometimes it's just for emergency purposes, I suppose. That's a good way of thinking, to invest money in that sense.
And it's also important to see independent ho sakde hain, you don't have to rely on your partner to do everything for you. Or even if you're on your own, or if you're living with your family, je ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਹੈਗੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਤੇ ਖੜ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, that you've got a pot of money, so if the worst case scenario came, especially if you're not in a good relationship, that you've got something in your back pocket that will sustain you or keep you safe for a short amount of time. time until you're back on your feet. So I think independence in that respect, you know, financial independence is really, really important.
I think it's important to do that, and you don't have to tell anyone. Just on your own, just keep their, you know, little pot of money there ready.
Yeah, you might want to leave money for your children or your grandchildren, and just put money away for them. So it's just something nice that you can do for yourself and for others. The next one is be kind to others. Sometimes being kind, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ, look after ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, that's so important. But more than that, it's important to be kind to yourself. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੀ look after ਕਰੋ, ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋਰਨਾਂ ਦੀ look after ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. You know, ਕਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ when you're doing a kindness for other people or for yourself, ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ negative thought ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਘਟ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, because you are focusing on good things about yourself and focusing on good things for others. So it's really, really important that you spend time thinking about kindness, because sometimes we're very good at judging ourselves and not being kind to ourselves, and ਉੱਥੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਬਿਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ, you know, depression, anxiety, all these things where we're just judging ourselves as not being as good as we could be. Whereas, like we've already said, if we celebrate our imperfections, we grow as people.
Yeah, and it's nice looking after somebody when you're full and that your vessel is full. Then it's easier to look after and be nicer to everybody else. And it's just that analogy of the mask, the oxygen mask in the plane, but like, and you put it on yourself before you put it on somebody else. You know, we can't help somebody else, you know, we haven't got mask on ourselves.
If you haven't got oxygen.
So if you want to be kind to others, you have to be kind to yourself first. But I also realize that we've been brought up to think, no, it's coming self-pride that, you know, we're meant to seva saryan de karo pehla and don't think about yourself. But if that really worked, there would be such more harmony in everybody's lives. Obviously it doesn't work, so we need to start from taking care of ourselves first before we can take care of somebody else.
And everything's a choice. You know, we always have to remember that everything we do is always a choice. So then the next one's to look for new ways to save more money.
So looking for ways to save more money, I think to make your dreams come sooner. I mean, I find that's the same way. It's looking, for me, I could be like try a little side part-time hobby or
a
job.
Side hustle.
Yeah, something like I don't know, you can make, for me, I think like if I did my sketching vagera, you can like a sideline thing, I can make my sketches, which I enjoy so much, and then maybe sell that on the side. So there's some way you can invest more money, but out of fun. I would do it out of fun. I won't do it like a desperate need. And maybe out of the workshops, things that we like to do. Just, but for me, it personally has to be something I enjoy.
Oh yeah, definitely, totally. I totally agree on that. I mean, sometimes for new ways to save more money is maybe like investing in something. You might want to start investing in property, or looking at something that you might want to sell. Something that not only you enjoy making, but you might create something that you can sell. So that's going to create some kind of money coming into your account in some other way. But that's just something creative that hopefully doesn't put too much pressure on you. And it's a little bit something that you enjoy, but is also helping you financially. And I think that's a really good way of having money. That's you can save for a rainy day. That could just be your savings for when you want to do bigger things. You know, but the holiday to jana, you know, have an extension or go on a lifelong journey somewhere. Who knows? The next one is if you want to learn how to live your life, take a risk. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ risk ਬਾਰੇ, we're not saying, you know, do anything madly or, you know, extravagantly where, you know, you might become homeless or anything like that, but doing something that you wouldn't normally do. Because ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ risk ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, you know, we're thinking it's not going to really have a mad negative impact on our life.
Be
our
responsible
life will,
about it.
be responsible. That's the word. So you can take a risk where you'll maybe go on a hill walk, which is going to take you longer and it's going to be harder, it's going to be a bit more challenging, but you're going to enjoy it though, and thodi life no na, you're going to spend so much time making new friends, being in an environment that you haven't been in before, जिथे तुसी अगे किते नहीं गए, you know, and age दे नहीं फर्क है. We know of people, somebody that spoke to us the other day who said that he might become a counsellor, and he was over 70 years old now, and he's, you know, we're not going to mention any names, but it's amazing that even at that age, life can bring you new things, and where you're taking a risk because you're thinking, well, I'm a bit scared of doing that, but then there's people that want you to do that.
There's some, like you said, there's some thrill and excitement in it as well.
That's it, yeah.
And like you said, sometimes that thrill, excitement, that's a good fear as well. There's a bad fear and a good fear, but the good fear allows you to, like, you know, you're on a ride, aren't you?
Yeah,
you can enjoy this ride. So yeah, but then I think the one we took last year, as this event shuru kita, asi any jaldi salah bana li, I think घंटे तक which है ना, and but then
it felt good.
It felt good. So I think also you need to listen to your body. So when you're making a decision and the body feels excited and good, and it doesn't feel heavy and it feels light and it just feels like a beautiful buzz, then you know, that's like an intuition, isn't it? Intuitively you know that this, whatever I'm thinking about or whatever I'm feeling excited about, I need to pursue this. This risk is okay to take, but also means there's a responsibility involved. But I know there's sometimes I've thought about things and it just feels heavy and it feels dark, and I know it means a lot of risk taking, then I find myself not going down that path. So I do listen to my body when it comes to making decisions about taking risk, and like we did when we took that risk of doing that event, we wanted ended up doing such a huge big event, but because we trusted our feelings and the body sensation and it felt good, everything, both, you know, successfully, Sara Kuch, easy, everything just happened beautifully.
Yeah, so you know, if you're taking risks, you know, just be mindful that you might fail. So the next one that we're going to discuss is recognize that you might fail. So कोई भी काम ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਣਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਕੰਮ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਨਾ ਬਣੇ, but ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ then there's a chance that ਜੇ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਨਾ ਹੋਇਆ, then we're not going to be absolutely crushed. ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਦਿਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਟੁੱਟ ਜਾਣਾ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ. Maybe that's just not the right time, the right place, the right environment, who knows, and something better might come along down the line. But it's just having that awareness at the beginning that we may not get exactly what we want. So if you have that, ਜੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਤਾ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਆਹ ਇੱਧਰ ਉੱਧਰ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਆ, you'll be okay. But ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਾ, you know, you put all your eggs in one basket, ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੋਣਾ, then you set yourself up in a way for failure, because then you can't cope when something goes wrong. So if you kind of think that, you know, we really hope this goes really well, but if it doesn't, it's okay. So ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ event ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣਾਉਂਗੇ ਉਹ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੀ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੈ, because it was for a homeless charity. So it worked out really well. So whatever we were going to do, it was always going to be better than doing nothing. So that was the difference, I think.
Yeah, but if you think about all the famous people in the world, you know, very rich, famous people.
They've taken a lot of risks.
Names like Richard Branson, Bill Gates, all those people, Steve Jobs, they all had to experience failure. They failed so many times, but they didn't give up. And we did that story last week about, what's his name? Ang Lee? Hannah, but we're doing on the resilience, Hannah. And he's a famous director, but most of his life he experienced failure after rejection, but he didn't give up. So failure is a good thing because it just makes you, like you said, you get more wiser from it, and you learn different ways, you know, you go down different avenues. So failure is a good thing. Nothing's working against you,
and it also strengthens you. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ strong ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ, but if you've decided you're doing something, it teaches you to be patient. ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੋਣਾ ਆ, you know, if you're so focused that you want that to work, it will work, but not without challenges. Nothing comes easy to anybody, and if you understand that right from the beginning, you know, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ event ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ and we managed to raise £4,650 for the Crisis Homeless charity, which I'm very proud that everybody that contributed and helped us, you know, we couldn't have done it on our own. There's no way. And we celebrate every single person that came on board with that. But again, there was a lot of hard work involved. So anything that you want and that you recognize may fail, it doesn't come without hard work. So if you're prepared for the hard work and all the effort that we made along with everybody else, there's no reason why it shouldn't be successful. But that's just recognizing that. And then we also spoke about some people want to fail deliberately, because they're scared.
Yeah.
They're scared of being recognized as somebody amazing, and so they don't want that much exposure. कि वो चाहते नहीं भी एकदम मैं famous हूँ, हौली हौली, to take steps slowly.
A very a program.
Yeah.
So where they will find ways to fail deliberately because they have a fear of success, because it means more responsibility.
Yeah.
Or they feel that if they've got too much responsibility, they just feel it's too much pressure, and they won't able to please everyone. So there is, like you said, there's a reason behind people want to fail as well.
Yeah.
So it depends on every individual person.
And also, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ fail ਕਰਦੇ हैं, sometimes that's a redirection. ਉਹ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. We don't know, but sometimes what जो कुछ असी सोचते हैं भी साडा राह इधर नु आ, sometimes that path is completely the opposite, but we don't know what the higher consciousness is doing for us. And it's important to recognize that sometimes जो चीज़ां नहीं सही हुंदियां, that is actually for our favor. We've also mentioned like exercise more. Exercising is such a great way to live your life. I mean, I know I love it. I've got a dog, so I love being out in nature and walking every day, and it's really great.
It is. It's the best way of sometimes when we're not moving around, just a hill, we don't realize that all the the cortisol and adrenaline, it builds up, and it gets. And it builds up and our muscles get tense and everything.
And I think we become quite frustrated because we've got a lot of energy that we need to get rid of.
And you only can get rid of it through movement and walking or jogging. But it's noticed every time we have been for a walk or a jog, you feel different.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you get more clarity, you have a more sort of like, I don't know, things that could be giving you a lot of sort of confusion and conflict. All of a sudden you get this, you get like a realization or something, and thinking, why didn't I think of that before? Because you're too much of that old, the old cortisol and all that running through your system. So exercise is the best way to live your best life, and you don't have to be really strenuous. Anything that just moves your body,
gets your heart rate up. It's always really good to do that. Just to see if you feel stressed out or you're tired, go for a short workout. जरूरी नहीं तुसी बाहर जाना है या जिम नु जाना है. You can go to your park, go to the community centre, कोई class कर सकते हैं. थोड़ी उम्र दे हिसाब नाल you can go to free swimming. If you're over the age of 60, a lot of councils allow you to use the swimming baths or the gym. Rather than giving you medication, they'd rather you exercise, and become a happier person. So meditation, anything like that is really, really helpful. So tusi socho, thodi ke je bhi exercise. Even if you enjoy a bit of bhangra dancing, put a YouTube video on, something that makes you happy. And you could do that. It doesn't have to be, something that's going to weigh heavy on your mind and your body. And then we're just going to say, aaj 5 simple rules every week while we're doing the 40 ways to live your best life, how to be happy. So the first one's
being grateful. Every day I'll write a list. For me it's easier. Just write write at least 10 things you're grateful for. That quickly changes your mindset. And I think first thing in the morning is really good, and so on lage, what can I be grateful for? And you can write things like, I'm grateful for that I can get up and make my own tea, I can get up and I can see through my eyes, I have a lovely home, I've got a roof over my, just write anything and be grateful for it.
I mean, I personally, I always say thank you God for another day, because we don't know how long we've got on this earth, and even just that one thing, it's just kind of encompasses everything by saying thank you for giving me one more day to just do what I want to do, or anything like that. The next one is say yes more to opportunities कि तुसी हाँ कहो जे थानू कोई कहंदा है कि आ फलाने थैनू आपां चलिए उत्थे चलिए तां the alternative is to stay at home and watch TV.
Yeah.
You know, je tusi, if you experience something new, you're going to feel more alive and happier, and it's just something different. And the easiest thing to do is say, "Nahi, nahi, tu jaya, main rehne dendi, main ghar reh lendi haan, mere kol aa kam hai." Par ਕੰਮ ਤਾਂ ਕਦੇ ਮੁੱਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ, so why not do something that's going to make you happy?
That's right, yes, and learn to let go. That means for me, learn to let go of thoughts that are making me feel good. So if I'm having thoughts that just making me feel more and more depressed and making me feel, worried and scared, I don't want these thoughts because they don't make me feel good. So let go of these thoughts and then reframe or replace with thoughts that make you feel good.
Yeah. So ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੰਗੀਆਂ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ 'ਚ ਮੋੜ ਕੇ ਆਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ, try to let them go. ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਆ, think about positive things, ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਸੋਚਾਂ ਆ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਨ ਵੀ ਹਲਕਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਰੀਰ ਵੀ ਹਲਕਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ. The next one is don't hoard, go out. So ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਮਾਨ ਨਾ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕਰੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਲਓ, ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ, ਇੱਥੇ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ, ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ, different things, ਸਮਾਨ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਣਾ, ਕਰਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਹੀ ਪੈਣਾ ਆ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ. ਅਸੀਂ ਖਾਲੀ ਆਏ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਖਾਲੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ. So it's important not to collect things.
Don't be too materialistic, but be more, have more experience in life.
ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਆ. And the last one,
enjoy simple pleasures, just like a nice cup of tea. Just think, thankful for this cup of tea. I'm just going to be present in this moment. Thank you for this ice cream we're having. Thank you for this moment we're having now. Just simple things to see, enjoy karunge na, your life just seems to flow and be very easy.
Relax, enjoy the moment. Wherever you are, be fully present, and just say thank you for all the things you do have rather than the things that you don't. So those are the kind of things. So we really hope you've enjoyed the Love, Laugh, Live show today with Dav and myself. So we look forward to seeing you very soon. And
each show we will, for the next 2 shows, we will talk about these, the best ways to live our life. And with more, different inspiring ideas we will share with you. And we love doing this. And because even though it just reinforces us.
Thank you.
Thank you.